Welcome. Scott here. Today I am going to bring you another video on Black Clover Mobile. In this video, I will be covering the ongoing limited challenge event, the Betelgigas raid for Season 9. Before I go into the guide proper, please do let me emphasize there is an importance of having PvE specialist units for the event. So do expect the effective team comps will be very restrictive. The fight will also features a new concept called boss buffs, where you activate more potent boss buffs for more raid coins upon completing the raid fight. Now let me briefly cover on the key rewards that you should target for. The table on the left shows the level of battle power you need and the raid coins drop along with the first time raid coins clear. The key rewards that you should target is the SSR Versatile Mage Piece, which costs 500 raid coins. If you are in the process of improving your gear substats, you can go after the enchantment stone boxes. Please note that enchantment stones for accessory cannot be used for gear and vice versa. Lastly, we have the usual wool shards which upgrade your unit's skill potencies from the shop. To get the mage piece along with all wool shards, you will need a total of 860 raid coins. To get the mage piece, wool shards along with the enchantment stone chest, you need a total of 2,140 raid coins. Other than the rewards, you can consider spending raid coins to buy stamina or cosmetic cube effect. Let me brief you on how the boss buffs mechanics work in the raid. As the name implies, the boss buff will give the boss skills more effects which will make the fight difficulty a lot harder. You can select boss buffs at the battle preparation screen and receive additional rewards based on the number of selected buffs. Available boss buffs change randomly every day. One day boss buff effects apply to Phase 1 while another day could be applied to Phase 2. The table on the left shows the number of raid coins for each part and the number of conditions you have activated. If you activated 0 to 2 boss buffs, there won't be any raid coin bonus. The bonus will starts from 3 boss buffs onwards. The rewards of the coins will also accumulate. For example, if you clear part 3 raid with 4 boss buff conditions, you will get between 15 to 17 raid coins for the usual clear along with 18 raid coins for boss buffs activation. The 18 bonus coins consist of 6 raid coins for 3 boss buff conditions and 12 raid coins for 4 boss buff conditions. Clearing part 2 fight with all 6 conditions will give you 30 bonus raid coins. Clearing part 3 fight with all 6 conditions will give you 60 bonus raid coins. Clearing part 4 fight with all 6 conditions will give you 90 bonus raid coins. The table of the right shows the boss buff effect. The boss buff effect will apply to the boss specific skill. The boss buff application seems to affect either only on Phase 1 or Phase 2. As we are in early days of the raid, we might have a mix of the conditions or the game will just alternate the buffs per phase. So how should I do my grinding for the raid coins? In my opinion, I suggest you to do the highest possible raid part where you can activate the most buffs. Due to the bonus raid coins multiplier, clearing higher raid stages won't necessarily translate to more raid coins drop. To get the versatile mage piece, you need to have a roster that allows you clear part 2 with 6 boss buff activation. But you won't be claim any other rewards other than the mage piece. With the key rewards and boss buff mechanics explained, let me proceed to talk about the boss mechanics. In Phase 1, we will be fighting the blue defender Betelgigas. Its skill 1 collision, it is an AOE attack that will inflict stun on a unit that doesn't have a barrier buff. The boss buff effect is that if your party doesn't have any form of damage resistance buff, the boss will grant itself a total defense for 3 turns upon using the skill. Its skill 2 Mineral Bullet, is a single target attack where the boss attacks after removing the barrier on the target. If you have activated the boss buff, the attack allow the boss gains more special skill points and inflict a nasty -5 SP deduction effect. Its skill 3 Horizon is an AOE attack that inflicts a 45% reduced defense debuff on all targets for 3 turns. If you have activated the boss buff, it could remove all targets' barrier buff and allows the boss to cleanse all debuffs from itself. Its special skill, Mineral Bullet of Judgment is an AOE HP attack that grants the boss a level 3 Fortify buff for 2 turns. If you have activated the boss buff, the attack give the boss 100% increased damage dealt buff upon using the attack. For passives, the boss is immune to status ailments such as stun and freeze. The boss is also immune to reduced mobility, reduced speed and mobility depletion. So the popular boss raid combo of Mars, Lotus, and Julius won't be that effective for this event. If the boss is still alive after 50 turns, the boss will activate Berserk where it will raises its attack and accuracy by 300%. While the Berserk buff is activated, the boss will grant itself defense penetration whenever it attack. In short, if you let the boss go into Berserk state, you most probably won't be able to complete the run. The boss will reduce all damage received from defender mages by 65% and will reduce damage from power attribute or red mages by 90%. So don't be surprised to see Black Asta dealing less than 1000 damage in this phase. Here are my recommendations on the units that you can bring for the fight. Avoiding bringing defender mages. If you want to bring them, they can only be used for their defense utility or unless you have means to buff them. Bring blue or green attackers such as Rhya, Clover Academy Jack, Ceremony Yami, Fuego Leon, Kyoto, Hateful Fana, Julius, or Spirit Dive Yuno. Rhya offers the easiest route to clear the fight since his extra attacks that scales off the number of buffs that he has will bypass the boss resistances. Just pair him with units that give multiple buffs, Party Kahono, Sally, Gifso, Swimsuit Gauche, Clover Academy Charlotte, Ceremony Charlotte, Valtos, Finral etc. Remember to bring a support for defensive buffs since the boss will likely get another turn after its initial turn. In the days where boss buffs are activated in phase 1, I would suggest you bringing Rades if you have him. Mereoleona's Mana skin and Valkyrie Noelle's Absolute Territory is the other alternative that you can use since her Mana skin gives party status ailment immunity. The boss could inflict AOE Stun on one of its skills, which can make the fight problematic or disrupting your nuking setup phase. If you have pulled for her, Ceremony Charlotte buffs will help a lot for this wave. Bringing a full mono green with level 2 enhancement Ceremony Charlotte will give the party a barrier buff that protects the party against the initial strike. The recent release unit, Party Kahono could make the fight very easy to handle if you decide to go for the nuking route. Now let's cover on phase 2 of the fight. In this phase, we will be fighting the red attacker Betelgigas. Firstly, let me go through its moveset. Its skill 1 Rocky Arm is an AOE attack that grants itself an increased attack level 1 buff for a turn. If you have activated the boss buff, the attack could inflict buff immunity on your party for 2 turns. Its skill 2 Condensed Flame is a single target attack that inflicts a reduced defense level 3 debuff on the target for 2 turns. If you have activated the boss buff, the skill will be inness to grant the boss itself a increased defense penetration buff level 3 while inflict barrier immunity on all enemies. Its skill 3 Burnout is an AOE attack that inflicts disarm level 3 debuff on all targets for 2 turns. If you have activated the boss buff, the attack will allows the boss to cleanse all debuffs and inflicts 3 instances of continuous damage burn debuff on all targets for 5 turns. Its special attack is another AOE attack that cleanse the boss of all debuffs before attacking. If you have activated the boss buff, this attack will also remove barrier on all targets. For passives, the boss is immune to status ailments such as stun and freeze. The boss is also immune to reduced mobility, reduced speed and mobility depletion. So the popular boss raid combo of Mars, Lotus, and Julius won't be that effective for this event. The boss will reduce all damage received from defender mages by 65% and will reduce damage from sense attribute or green mages by 90%. So don't be surprised to see green attackers like Licht, Rhya, Clover Academy Jack dealing low damage for this phase. The boss will self-inflict itself with an exhaustion debuff after it uses its special skill. You will know it is activated by the glow red debuff and boss will look tired as well. Exhaustion will reduces boss defense, damage resistance, endurance, and damage dealt by 95% for 5 turns. In other words, take opportunity of this window to maximize your damage output so you can kill the boss before it kills your party. Damage mitigation supporters like William, Swimsuit Gauche, Gifso, Clover Academy Charlotte, Ceremony Charlotte, Fate of Thread Vanessa, Grey, or debuffer dispellers like Party Costume Noelle, Party Nozzle or Lotus are very useful here. When boss buffs in Phase 2, one of the boss buff effect conditions include the annoying continuous damage burn debuffs. Units that have ability to remove such debuffs are very useful here. You can use Swimsuit Charmy, SR Vanessa, Swimsuit Asta or Clover Academy Noelle. Swimsuit Charmy is preferred here since she can heal back the lost damage as well. Clover Academy Noelle and Grey will have their chance to shine here. However, do remember that her skill 2 only heals upon removing continuous damage from the party, and you need to make sure she survive the boss attacks. For the part 1 and 2, you can solo with Black Asta or have him duo with Swimsuit Noelle. Before I proceed to showcase my runs for the event, you will get feat rewards by clearing part 5 with all buffs and part 6 with all buffs. Clearing part 5 with all buffs will get you 1,000,000 YUL, while clearing part 6 with all buffs will get you to getting the Betelgigas account frame. With the overview done, let me proceed with my showcase of the runs.
Everyone! This is go. Yeah. This is go.